Ah! Oh! I feel like I'm part of the architecture.
You're part of the habitat.
I am part of the habitat.
I'm here at Bird Paradise, where 3,000 birds migrated to in 2023. With its newly designed aviaries and 400 species of birds, it's a bird lover's paradise.
I want to see more.
Come follow me, I'll show you more.
When I was an architecture student, Singapore was still a young nation. 20 years later, I'm clearly still not an architect, but Singapore has transformed.
From low-rise buildings to gleaming skyscrapers, the relentless pulse of progress keeps the Singapore skyline ever-changing. I'm here to meet the people who are building and shaping our built environment.
This is very nice. So there are 8 aviaries which are all connected to create Bird Paradise.
Yes, and they are designed to be different biotopes of the world, different kind of landscaping, different look and feel.
Karine Ng was part of the design team for Bird Paradise at Mandai Wildlife Group, who came up with the concept, features and themes of each of its 8 aviaries.
We really want the animals and the people who are visiting our park to feel like they're immersed in this natural environment.
They do look like those Balinese rice terraces.
Watch your step over here. So over here, we actually have the viewing tower for the visitors to admire the birds from the elevated point of view. So there's actually a suspension bridge that goes around this entire cluster of trees that we have retained on site.
Obviously, as the years go by, this place will become a bit more
Large, dense and tropical so that we can really feel like you're in the Central Africa rainforest.
I really enjoy being up here on these walkways. You do feel like you are in a jungle.
And we have this very seamless mesh that makes you feel like there's no aviary enclosed above you.
So it was deliberately designed like this?
Yes.
So what sort of research did you guys have to do?
We have to do a lot of research in terms like case studies, references, and then we also work with very specialized people like biologists, engineers, architects, landscapers, and even vets. We have the contractors as well to help to build the park.
That's a lot of people.
Yes, huge amount of people who pour their heart into it and make this project work.
One of the toughest challenges that Bird Paradise faced was putting up the aviary columns. With some standing at a height of 32 meters, equivalent to a 10-story high building, these columns hold up the wire mesh that encloses the aviary. Within the park alone, there are 178 columns.
So the real challenge here is each column is actually slanted, so they are not stable on its own. So a temporary structure has to be placed to hold them so that when the cables are installed, followed by the netting, the entire structure will be complete.
So they're all leaning at different angles.
Every one of them is engineered in a certain inclination so that everything will be stable when it's up.
These are the leaning towers of Mandai.
This is actually one of the special aviary that there's no internal columns within this entire habitat to allow free flight of the fleet macaws all around the entire aviary. So we actually designed the landscaping and the structures so that the visitors can experience the full potential of this habitat.
Those macaws are absolutely amazing. It's giving Jurassic Park feels. Why do you do what you do?
I'm a person who likes nature and interested in building an environment for nature. By bringing people closer to nature, we will get a bit more sensitive about what we are doing to nature as well. All the precious habitats that we would like to protect. It's a never-ending learning journey. There's always something new to design for, something new to experience.
I like how one experiences this park on so many levels. There are paths on the ground, and there are paths within the aviaries, and also paths connecting the aviaries, like this bridge we're on right now.
To connect people from different levels, we actually have educational hubs that's air-conditioned to give people a place for care and respite. In addition to that, we also use computer modeling to measure the natural wind flow of the space so that during the very hot weather, the natural wind will surely flow through the aviaries.
Computer modeling also helped the team position certain aviaries and zones to determine what's most sustainable. Which brings me to...
aircon!
Hi, Enlai.
Hey, where am I?
We are here at the Penguin Cove.
Guo is Mandai Wildlife Group's Deputy Vice President of Sustainable Solutions, the team leading the charge for sustainable initiatives at Mandai Wildlife Reserve. Home to 32 penguins, the 3,000 square meter habitat is 3 times the size of their previous home in Jurong, with 2 saltwater acrylic tanks with a water depth of 7 meters. The building has been awarded the BCA Green Mark Platinum Certificate.
These penguins obviously use a lot of water. So how do you ensure that it's sustainable?
Follow me. Here we are at the life support system at Penguin Cove. What we have here are a bunch of filters and foam fractionators. This equipment removes the proteins that are found in the water so that we can reuse them back at the exhibit.
So you clean
Yes.
the seawater
Yep.
that the penguins live in.
That's right. With this equipment, we are able to save about 20,000 meter cubes of water per day, and that's equivalent to about 8 Olympic-sized pools. All this is what makes the Penguin Cove very sustainable.
But it's not just water, right?
It's also about energy, it's about sustainable construction, and that's what makes sustainability multifaceted.
To reduce the energy consumption for Penguin Cove, the building was built at the lowest point so that it's always shaded by higher ground. At the same time, solar panels mounted on the roof are able to generate enough energy to power 700 LED light bulbs for a whole year. The chillers and the filtration system are also more energy efficient, altogether helping Penguin Cove achieve 30% energy savings.
We have built this big wildlife bridge. This bridge links 2 patches of forest to allow animals to cross.
Mandai Lake Road divided the Central Catchment Nature Reserve 60 years ago. To reconnect the 2 forest patches, the Mandai Wildlife Bridge was built in 2019. And since its construction, camera traps have recorded nearly 80 species of animals using the wildlife bridge.
So sustainability to us is of the highest priority, namely for 2 reasons. One is we want to make sure that our operations have the least impact on our environment. And secondly, we want to ensure that we minimize the use of our resources wherever possible so that we can leave a better world for our future generation.
But we need to invest in sustainability.
Yes. Well, you invest in sustainability, it means investing in the future.
This pioneering approach to sustainability through smart design and engineering shows that the built environment can help foster human-wildlife interactions while minimizing the impact on the environment.
As people like Corinne and Guo work to ensure a sustainable future, this bodes well for the penguins and their feathered friends as we learn how to interact with nature while leaving the smallest environmental footprint possible.